In this lesson, I'll tell you about moving an object, rotating and changing scale using gizmos. So whenever you select a 3D object in AutoCAD, you may see this kind of gizmo with three different arrows pointing in three different direction of axis. Now if this type of gizmo is not visible, then go to this selection panel of home tab, click on this drop down and select any one of these gizmos. By default it will be selected as no gizmo, and there will be no gizmo visible, just like the scene which you see right now here. Now if you want to turn any gizmo on, select that one. So I'm selecting move gizmo for this case. Now using this gizmo you can move your 3D solid object in the 3D plane, and for moving it we can make use of these 3-axis system. So once your gizmo is selected, click at this grip, move your gizmo to the point where you want to place it, so that point will become the reference point, and now you can start moving it. So let's say that we want to move it along y-axis, which is represented by green. So move your cursor to the y-axis, click there, and now you'll notice that your object is moving in that direction. Now you can directly enter the value on command line, or you can move it dynamically using cursor. So I'll enter the distance first. So let's enter 20 and press enter, and the object moved towards 20 units, which is very less for this case. So let's try some other value. So let's select this one along z-axis and now enter a value of 100 units and press enter, and now we have a visible change in the position of this object. Let's press Ctrl Z to return back to the original position. In a similar way, you can use this move gizmo to move your object in any other direction using all of these 3 axes. Now if you want to move your object on a specific plane, then instead of selecting these axes, you can select the planes here. So when you select this plane, the object will only move on that specified plane, no matter how you move it. So here we have it. I have moved it to this position, but still when you orbit your cursor, you'll notice that your object is on the front plane and it is not moved. Let's say that we want to move it on some other plane. For that, let's orbit this again and select any other plane. So in this case, I'm selecting this plane. And now even if it looks like I'm moving this object towards left, the object is still in movement in the selected plane, and that can be seen more clearly in this way. So even if I try to move my cursor towards left, I'm not able to do so. I'm only able to move it in the upward and downward direction, and in this way you can restrict its motion in any single plane. Now let's turn it back to this position and let's try other gizmos which we have. Now let's press escape and go to this gizmo drop down and select rotate gizmo. Now using rotate gizmo, you can obviously rotate the orientation of this 3D object. So let's select it, and once again we have a different kind of gizmo with 3 different axes now. So first we need to specify the base point. For specifying the base point, you can directly click at a point. So let's first click on this grip and now specify the destination point. So I'll click here. So this will be the base point for this 3D object. And now let's specify the axis. For specifying the axis, select any of these 3 circles. So let's say that we want to select y-axis, which is represented by green color in this UCS. So we can select this green circle for y-axis, and now you'll notice that we are able to move it along this y-axis, and we can directly enter the value of angle on command line, or you can move it in an angle dynamically using your cursor as well. So I'll enter a value of angle. So let's say that we want to enter an angle of 60 degrees and press enter. Now you'll notice that your object is moved along y-axis in anti-clockwise direction with respect to positive side of x-axis. In a similar way, you can rotate it in other directions. For example, let's select this blue circle to rotate it along z-axis. Let's enter an angle value of 45 and press enter, and here we have this. So in this way you can rotate it as well in any direction using this gizmo. Now in case you want to change the size of this object, you can select scale gizmo. So let's select scale and now click on this object. In this case also you need to specify the base point. For that, click on this grip and place it at the base point. This point will remain fixed, and here we are going to change the scale along 3 different axes. So in this case, even if you select any of these axes, the scale will be changed in all of these 3 axes. So it hardly matters which axis you select. Now You can click again dynamically or enter the value of a scale. Let's say that we want to increase the size by a factor of 2. For that, enter 2 and press enter, and the size increased to the twice of its original value, and here we have it. So this was all about move, rotate and scale gizmo tool of AutoCAD 3D. In the next lesson, I'll tell you about align objects command of AutoCAD, which can be used very efficiently in situations where you want to align one object with respect to other one.